the
This
recording for
conference
this
will
call.
now be recorded.
So I'm so happy that everybody's on this call this morning. I hope everybody had a good weekend and all that other good stuff. You know, today's call, I think it's going to be good and informative, and I think everyone's going to get some good stuff out of the call, quite honestly. So, you know, today we're going to talk about just literally going to the next level, right? So I've been talking, I don't know what's going on, but I've been talking to a lot of different people I've worked with, students, people I've taught different things, whether it's business credit building or the credit repair and CPN business and the Tradeline business. You know, I've been talking to, a lot of different people that have paid me to learn those businesses. And, what I'm finding is, ironically, is that the women are killing it. The women are just really doing awesome. It's just so funny to me that the people that, started off with the most desperate situations and said, I'm going to take a chance on you, Pascal, and gave me their hard-earned money, and in some instances, their last dollar, to take a chance on whatever it is that they wanted to learn from me. And some of them are just, they've exploded and they're doing very, very well. And so it made me really start thinking about myself, my desperate times, my periods of time when I would elevate, or move to the next level. And it had a lot to do with, just having no place else to go. You know what I mean? And just having, nothing to do. It's either succeed or basically, I don't want to say be homeless because that would be a lie, but it was a case of succeeding or just having a really screwed up existence. And so what I wanted to tell you all is that, this stuff that I'm explaining to you guys, I'm giving you guys for free. You could literally, you could literally take this information and go out and make it work for you, not just from the standpoint of having it work directly for you, which it will, but taking it and going out and using it as something or a tool to sell to other people, right? So then that happens a lot with the things that I give people or teach people, is they'll take that information and they'll go out and sell it as a service or, as a business to other people, which only makes sense, right? So you're taking in all this knowledge, and if you use it for yourself and you help yourself get out of, whatever scenario or situation you're in, why wouldn't you then turn around and sell that information and do well? So, I think I mentioned this young lady before. So I want to give kind of like the differences in people that are about their business and people that are constantly finding something to complain about. So there was this young lady not too long ago who gave me $1,500 as a down payment on a $5,000 program that I offer. And so, I gave this young lady a bunch of information, and I guess she didn't really see the value in what I have given her, right? So what she did was she said, well, Pascal, I still want to do business with you. I still want to, talk to you and keep a relationship with you. But I don't want to give you the balance of $3,500, which is what she agreed to pay me, right? Because it was a $5,000 program. And she was like, I don't want to give you the balance because I just don't see the value in it. And so basically I was like, well, you know what, that's fine. I don't, that's your business. If you don't see the value in it, then you know what, so be it. But I'm just telling you right now that by you taking my information that I've given you thus far and not finishing out your agreement with me, we're done, and I wish you well, but I can't work with a person that I can't trust, right? There's nothing else that I can do for you. And she was trying to, explain her side of it. And what I explained to her is that she said to me, she said, well, the only thing, that you really taught me, right, and keep this in mind, is how to fill out an application. And that's not a big deal. And I explained to her, I was like, well, you told me specifically that you had filled out 4 or 5 applications and had not been approved for anything, right? Because she was filling them out completely wrong. And people don't understand that is really a thing, right? You can fill out a credit application, and especially for business lines of credit, and if you're not filling it out properly, you're not going to get approved because, we in the beginning, we work with stated income applications when it comes to the business credit program. And what I was explaining to her is that if you're putting down that you make $30,000 and your business is making, $60,000 or whatever her numbers were, you're never going to be approved because you're paying rent. They take that into consideration. That's why they ask you how much your rent is on an application. When they look on your credit file, they see that you're renting or you're paying for a car. You have a car note. Then they calculate how much your food you're eating. What your groceries are. They have within their algorithm. They break all that stuff down and they look and they go, well, you don't have any money to give us outside of what you're already spending. So why would we take a chance on you and give you a $10,000 credit card or even a $5,000 credit card or whatever the case may be? Why would they take a chance on doing that when you're telling them up front, yeah, I don't really make enough money to pay it, but I would love to have this card? And so I broke all that down to her and gave her the methodology, the tools, if you will, in order to be able to go out and apply and get that money. So for me, that if you have the tools to go out and know how to apply for credit properly, and you're able to raise $10,000, $5,000, $50,000, $100,000, not just for yourself, but for anybody else, because you have the tools. And so what I had to, explain to her, and just like, is that, so that information that I gave you is distilled down from so much crap that I've bought over the years to learn this stuff, to be able to distill it down into 3 steps, 4 steps, 7 steps. You know what I'm saying? And so, and people don't understand that. And so I always like to use this analogy or this little story where, and if you guys have heard me say this before, forgive me, I apologize. But I like to use the story of when this old lady takes her Singer sewing machine into the repair shop. And when she takes the Singer sewing machine into the repair shop, she sets it on the counter and she says, well, sir, I'm having a problem with my machine. When I want it to zig, it zags. When I want it to zag, it goes straight. When I want a cross stitch, it gives me a straight stitch. And the man listened to her, to what the machine is doing. And she said, I can come back and pick it up tomorrow or next week. What do you prefer? And the guy said to her, he said, well, just hold on one second, ma'am. Let me run to the back and I'll be right back. So the gentleman runs to the back and he grabs a screwdriver, and he comes back out and he sticks the screwdriver down into the sewing machine, this little hole where there's a screw down in there. It's a set screw, and he turns the screw to the left, and then he runs the machine, and the machine's still zigging when it's supposed to zag. And then so he turns it off and then turns the screw a little bit more to the left, and then he turns it on, and it starts to zig when it's supposed to zig and zag when it's supposed to zag, go straight when it's supposed to go straight, and do a cross stitch when it's supposed to do a cross stitch, right? And so he finishes it up, and the lady says, "Wow, that's amazing." He says, "Yeah." He says, "Thank you very much." He says, "That'll be $75." And the lady says to him, "Are you kidding? $75? It only took you 2 minutes to fix it." And the guy says to her, he says, "Yes, but it took me 20 years to learn how to do that in 2 minutes." Do you guys get that? So this guy had to distill or learn to distill 20 years of learning down to being able to do something within 2 minutes. And so the problem is that people don't seem to understand that, it may have taken you 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to learn something so well that you can cut through the bullshit on it. And you can when you cut through the bullshit on something, and you can just say to yourself, "Oh, no. This is the easiest and the quickest path to get to where we're trying to be." I have seen that in countless industries, right? I've seen in the real estate world where people have had a system and how they would do things. I'm talking about real estate investors, because they had spent so much time learning and all this other, stuff that's necessary that you have to, the starting points in becoming a real estate investor. And then they would seemingly get to a point where they were able to go out, find property that almost seemed like it was magic, right? They were finding all this property and making deals left and right, and you're like, "Dude, how are you doing that shit? How are you making that happen?" And it always came back to the same thing. It took them years and years and years and years to learn their flow, to learn their process. And so when they say to you, "Look, I'll teach you, give me 10 grand and I'll teach you," and people go, "I'm not going to give you $10,000 for that." I mean, but what they're not understanding is that, that knowledge on how to find those pieces of property, how to close the deals, how to rehab it properly, how to then sell it properly, I should say. Dude, those things are huge, but people don't get it because they see it happening. What they believe is just like such a simplicity or such an easy flow. All they see is the end result, right? But they don't understand that it took that person, years, a decade or more, to learn how to rehab a house just right so that it's able to sell without spending a shitload of money, how to find these deals in the first place, right? And so people are become, I don't know, people are just silly. They think that because something inside and out, and you're able to distill it down to like I said earlier, 3 steps, 5 steps, 7 steps, or whatever, instead of having to go through all this extra bullshit to make something happen. They don't see the value in what you're talking about, because they say, "But you're only doing it in 7 steps. Why is that worth $5 grand to me? You're only doing it in 7 steps. Why is that worth $10,000 to me?" And because they're not counting the 20 years that it took you to get to that point where you can turn the screwdriver to the left, turn the screwdriver to the right, and then make the damn thing work properly, right? They're not counting all that time, effort, energy, and money that you had to expend to be able to learn how to do that thing properly. And does that make sense to you guys? I mean, I hope it does. And so the point is that
Yes, it
this
does.
stuff. Thank you. This stuff that I'm teaching you guys is literally the things that I've learned over a wealth of time. Just like some of you on this call have mastered certain things, whatever it might be, but it took you a long time to understand it properly and to be able to master it, to be able to speak on it intelligently, right? It took you a long time. And so what I'm trying to say to you all in this call is that you all need to start taking your information, your knowledge base, and selling it, right? So I have a young lady, excuse me, she is killing the game, okay? So just a year ago, I was telling her that, I've always done business credit building for people and that type of thing, but just not in a big way. I used to do it back when, and then I just kind of like fell off doing it for a lot of different reasons. Then I started pushing on it again, and so I was telling this young lady that has bought different programs from me, how to do the CPN business, the Tradeline business and everything, and she was doing well with that. And then I was explaining to her that hey, I just made 30 grand over the last 2-month period of time, with new clients for the business credit building. And she was like, oh my God, Pascal, you got to teach me that, right? So what this young lady did was she took what I taught her, and she subsequently turned around and just dived into it, right? She left all the other stuff behind, the trade lines and the CPNs and the credit repair and all that other stuff, and she just dived into doing the business credit building thing. Now, admittedly, some of her clients, she's adding trade lines onto their stuff to help them boost their credit so that, they can go after, business lines of credit, credit cards and what have you, and even regular, personal credit loans and what have you. She's also dealing with credit repair, but she does it like I do it nowadays, which is I don't want to do it directly. I don't want to be that guy that has to fix people's credit. So I farm that stuff out, right? And I tell everybody else, don't try to do everything, farm it out. And so she's taken that to heart as well. And she was fortunate enough to find someone that she can work with to, farm out her credit repair. And then subsequently utilize those things to go after business credit for people. Now, since January, this young lady has brought in approximately $500,000. So this is like she's killing it. But let me give her props and explain to you guys what she's doing. Okay, so what she chose to do was first, as far as the credit repair part, is go around and speak to all these different realtors that have individuals that need their credit cleaned up so that they can buy a freaking house, right? And then, so that's clients coming into her arena. Then she started making or setting up, the better way of saying that is then she started, creating relationships with bankers, and I've said this to you all before. Small banks and mid-sized banks are where it's at, right? They have plenty of money to lend out. They have, and that's what they want to do because that's the only way they're going to become bigger banks. If you're not giving out money, you're going to stay a very small institution, right? Because how they make their money is by not sitting it into their bank accounts, but they make money by making loans. The more loans they can make, the more money they can make. And small institutions, people just don't go to them necessarily for for funds like that. So what they're doing is they're literally, you know, just desperate for people to come knock on their door and you know, with good qualification, and they're giving out money. So she has developed relationships with small and mid-sized institutions, and they have even one of the institutions in particular has even put her on their little tour where they're going around and having her as one of their speakers on behalf of the bank. So, you know, how crazy is that, right? And that's why she's killing the game. I mean, she took information that I taught her, and she went to the next level. She's crushing me as far as what she's bringing in financially, right? Because I'm not out there the way she's out there. I should be, but I'm not. You know, I spend my days, I generate my money sitting on my sofa with my laptop in front of me and my computer and my cell phone, typically in my hand, talking to people. So my point is that all of you all that come on these calls, you can mimic what she's doing. It's not like she's doing something great or unique. Well, no, let me take that back. She is doing something great, but it's not unique to her. It is a thing that any of you can do, including myself, right? If I so desire to do that, go out, make it happen. You know, go out and start. You know, she started putting herself in front of people in a big way, right? In a big way, going and talking to anybody that would listen. And so therefore she's reaped the rewards of that. You know, she's reaped the rewards in a very big way. You know, because in anybody's book, if you can generate $500,000 from January to middle of last month, that's phenomenal. Now we do things differently. I consider myself to be a teacher, right, and a coach, where she is more proactive in the field, right? So she does more things for her clients, where I'm more of the coaching thing. I'll teach you how to fish, where she's not teaching her client base how to fish. She's just simply saying, I can help you get this money, which there's nothing wrong with that. Different approaches, and obviously her approach is working extremely well. So are you guys getting what I'm trying to explain to you all? You know, you know so much. You have so much information between your ears. It's time. You know, I was talking to a buddy of mine, Chris, yesterday, and Chris was saying, "Hey, man, I you know, and this dude has, oh my God, he has a wealth of knowledge, right? Back in the day, I used to be a government contractor. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but he, once he found out I was a government contractor, you know, back when, he was saying to me, he was like, "Oh, dude, you know, my aunt is a government contractor." And then he started learning from his aunt about the whole government contracting thing. And she's a very successful government contractor. And so he was at a conference, and he was talking to a young lady. And when he was talking to her, he started giving up all this information about, you know, government contracting and all this other stuff. And then prior to that, he had told two other people about me and sent them to me. And he was saying, "Dude, you know, I got to stop doing that. You know, my wife is telling me I'm just giving up too much information. And, you know, I just got to stop doing that. I'm just giving out all this gold and people don't reciprocate." And I explained to Chris, I was like, "Dude, I have been the same way. But what I do nowadays is, because I charge $250 an hour for my consulting. And so what I do nowadays is I just tell people point blank. I give them a little tidbit of information, and I just tell them if they want more, you got to pay me $250, right? And I want a 2-hour minimum up front. And so you guys have so much knowledge. You guys have you can go back and listen to these calls, take what I've been teaching you guys in these calls, and just and kill it. Take what I've been teaching you guys in these calls and just go to YouTube and listen to the past calls. Go out and start making this stuff happen. Just like the young ladies that I've worked with, and some men as well, that have paid me my fee. They're taking my information and they've regurgitated it in their own way, right? And they're doing the damn thing. And so I want you all to start seeing your value, just like with my man Chris yesterday. We all don't understand the value that we have and that we offer. We're so quick to give up so much to people without getting paid, and it has to stop in 2019. It just it took you years, decades, a lifetime to learn all this stuff that and I'm just simply telling you all, you got to get paid for it. I have to be paid for it. All right. And that's the most important thing that we can start doing for ourselves right here, right now, period. That is the most important things that $500,000 in 5.5 months is crazy numbers to me. Right. I mean, even in the best business I ever had, which was when I was a government contractor, and I was doing between $350,000-$450,000 a year. That was a year. That took me a whole year to do that. Now, admittedly, my business generates, $200 and some odd $1,000 a year, and I can do that sitting on my sofa, I should say, But honestly, she just in 5 months she made what I made, and then what I make as a business, and then doubled it in 5.5 months. That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs to me. And what's even funnier, and don't get it twisted, y'all. I'm very happy for her. I'm very proud of her. But it's just very funny that someone would take what and go out and just do the thing, and you can't do nothing but respect the game. You can't do anything but respect that. Respect her hustle, because information is just information unless you're doing something with it. Knowledge doesn't mean a damn thing if you're not utilizing it. Does that make sense to you all? Knowledge, all that knowledge you all have, all that knowledge you're gaining, all these people are on these calls that I do every Monday, and they're constantly gaining all this knowledge. And what's funny is I'm going to venture to say that the vast majority of you are not using any of the crap that I'm teaching you, right? Even though it's absolute gold. And more importantly, not only are the people that come on this call, they're not utilizing what I'm teaching for themselves, but they're not even taking it and reselling it, which is what you should be doing. And that's how this young lady made $500,000 before the sixth month mark, just literally selling what I taught her and just taking it to the next level. Because in my world, $500,000 is a lot of money. That's just me. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions? Okay. So I do understand that some of you let me know that you are at work, and I get that, and so it makes it difficult for you to speak. So no problem. But I'm so hyped up right now, that, speaking to several different people that are doing different things and they're killing it in their specific arenas. And I'm very proud that I played a small part in that and giving them the initial knowledge to be able to go out and then subsequently make a living, and in some instances a great living, um, selling the knowledge that I gave them. And more importantly, you all, it's it it goes to show that there is money in selling information and knowledge, right? So we don't have to beat ourselves up, out. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to beat ourselves up, trying to force something down people's throat or whatever. You find that good thing. You find that thing like this young lady that I'm talking about. One thing that we know is everybody wants a couple of different things, and one of those things is money. Everybody wants money, and if you can show them how to get money, if you can show people, you have a like this young lady, she was on her little tour, and for the bank, and she, because the bank is setting it up, talking to their different clients, and because their whole thing is primarily, remember, it's a mid-sized bank, and so what this bank is trying to do is they have people like her that are on this little speaking circuit, right? And different branches of this bank are promoting it, and they take people like her and they say, come learn how to, they have somebody who's a financial expert. They'll have somebody else, like her, who talks about rebuilding and repairing your credit and how to develop capital. Then they'll have somebody else that talks about retirement, and then they'll have somebody else that talks about whatever, right? So, and the bank is promoting it. She got 18 new clients, she told me. 18 new clients. I mean, you know why she was able to get 18 new clients? It's because the bank is basically saying, we trust her, right? So the bank is saying we trust her. So what's the mindset of a average person, right? Well, if the bank trusts this person, I'm going to trust this person. She flew to Louisiana, and she's like, Pascal, I made $7,000 in one day, right? And it's just, I'm like, you know what, girl, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. And you got to be proud of somebody who's out there doing that. It's phenomenally cool. And you start comparing it to the other things that people are doing and could be doing, and we are all falling short of what we could and should be doing, all of us, including myself. So that's why I was so excited, and that's why I wanted to get that out to you all. Like I was telling my man Chris yesterday, who, basically grew up with him. This cat has so much knowledge between his ears. When he went to that conference and he met that young lady who is a disabled retired vet, and he was able to lace her with so much game on what she could be doing and is not doing, especially as a disabled. Somebody's making noise in the background. Stop it, please. As a disabled veteran, she didn't even, she's trying to do government contracting. She didn't even know where to start, basically. And she's been, according to Chris, I think working on it for like a year. And she had, in less than 10 minutes, he was able to lace her with so much information and game that once she got her certificate from the Veterans Administration, right? Which means that she can go out and start getting contracts from the Veterans Administration. I don't even know how she could not know that, though, right? I mean, that's like step one. But anyways, she proudly sent that certificate, not, a photo of it, obviously, to Chris going, "Oh my God, Chris, I got this." And I was like, dude, look how much you know. And how much do you think she's going to send you, paying you for that information that you gave her? How much? How much do you think she's going to send you? And the answer is zero, right? Because when she sent him a copy of her holding that cert from the VA, saying disabled vet and yada yada yada, she never said anything about sending him any money for him helping her with that. So I was like, dude, next time you talk to her, you got to tell her $250 an hour, 2-hour minimum. That's $500. Get something out of it, right? People have to understand that your knowledge, your time, your effort, your energy that it took you to learn all that, all those years that Chris was bugging the shit out of his aunt to learn all that crap that she knows. Because once again, she's a very successful contractor with the government, and she is a disabled vet, and Chris would constantly call her up, bug the shit out of her, ask her questions, do his due diligence, do his research, all that stuff. That time, effort, and energy is worth money. And once again, it goes back to he was able to distill all that information that he had to learn from his aunt, learn from the internet, learn from talking to the VA, learn from talking to DOD, learn from talking to PTAC centers, learn from talking to I can't think of the other thing, but that was effort. That was years of his life. And so that's worth money, y'all. And so that's just because you're able to say, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, right? Years ago he wouldn't have been able to say that because he didn't know shit. But he learned enough to be able to distill it down into, you need to do this little thing here. I need you to go get this certificate, and that's going to allow you to go here and start applying for these contracts, and then that's going to allow you to go over here to apply for those contracts. Does that make sense to you guys? It's kind of like it took him all that learning and time and effort and energy to be able to distill it down to, you need to start here, and then that's going to provide you with what you need to do this thing over there, and so on and so forth. Are we on the same page, y'all? It's start getting paid. Start getting paid for that knowledge you have. Anytime you open your mouth, give somebody a tidbit and like the first quarter of some information, and if they're interested, tell them the next 3 quarters are going to cost them some money. $250 an hour, because that's what I charge. And what I've noticed is that even if people don't want to pay me my $250 an hour, it gets them off of my phone. I get off my phone. If you're not about yourself and learning something of value, then get off my phone. Right? Because you're wasting my time. And I don't want to be the information whore. I don't want to be the information whore. I don't need to be the information whore. I don't need to be the person that just, is constantly just giving out buttloads of information and just telling people, how they can improve their lives. Well, where's my improvement? If I've given you all this information and you've improved your life by leaps and bounds, okay, so where's my improvement? What do I get out of the deal? Right? We are so quick to just give people everything that we have, but we don't think about, I got to feed my family, I got to take care of mine, I got to pay my lights, I got to pay my car bill, I got to put food in my refrigerator. We don't think about that. And we need to start doing that. Everybody on this call needs to start thinking about you first. Right? You are of value. You have You have a life's worth of information in you, and I don't even care if it's just talking about how to get a divorce, how to go through the finding the right attorney for that, or how to deal with your kids, or whatever. I went to this concert. I'm sorry. I went to the conference with my buddy Denise, and there was this young lady there who she deals with women primarily. I think she helps them become entrepreneurial, but her big thing is, she was in the military. She was a sergeant or so whatever the hell she was. She was, and she got out of the military, was getting divorced, had kids to raise, yada, yada, yada. So now her whole get down is in making buttloads of money at it, right? Her whole get down is teaching women how to be self-sufficient, how to go through a divorce, and come out on the other side prosperous. Right? And she even has this little chart where Dee had sent it to me some time ago when she first, saw this woman or heard about her, where the lady was talking about how much money she makes as a speaker. All she does is travel around being a speaker and then being a coach and then selling product afterwards. Right? So you can pay me as a coach, and then here's my products that you can also buy. So when I saw this lady, and I already knew about her because talking to Dee, this lady had said when she first got into the lecture, circuit, she said that she made $250,000 in an hour or two, and she said after that, it blew her away. And all she's doing is talking about her life experiences, right? $250,000, y'all. $250,000. And you know what she was saying at this Think and Grow Rich conference that I went to with Dee, she was saying that she said that, she was saying, why didn't I do this earlier? Why didn't somebody tell me about this crap? Why didn't somebody tell me that I could make $250,000 in an hour or two just running my mouth telling people about my life experiences? And if that's not crazy, I don't know what is. Dude, $250,000 in an hour or so, standing on a stage, telling about her experience in the military, telling about her experience getting divorced and becoming a single mother of 3, and then subsequently becoming an entrepreneur, telling her life experience, her life story, and then people wanting to say, I want to be a part of your life story. So here's my check.
Oh my God, Miguel, this is Denise. Oh my God that you're talking about this. And oh my God, everybody, this is not scripted. I promise you. I was just on the phone with Dr. Sonia Stribling, the person.
There you go, that's her name.
And she, because of another Think and Grow Rich event I went to in Chicago, she offered a $500. So just to piggyback on what you're saying, she offered a $500 1 hour on the phone coaching, and I took the opportunity because she's gonna teach on how to speak on stage, and so that has now been my calling. But just to piggyback on that, as you say, I spent the $500. Why? Because she's an expert in her field. She is now going to, because of her coaching, she is going to show me what I need to brand myself, what I need to, how I need to speak on stage, the content I need to deliver, all those things. Anyways, So what you were saying, I just wanted to piggyback on that, that it is so important that get with a mentor, get with a coach. Their time is valuable. They have gone through all the steps. I don't have to go research any of this stuff. She's already done it. So for $500 in an hour, which was so valuable, and I just got off the call, and so I just got on your call with her, and I'm hearing you speaking about her, which is amazing. And last thing I'm going to say is that now she just told me she's on track to make in the next 12 months $1 million a month. So I just wanted to let you guys know that these people that you speak to, Pascal in particular, his time is valuable. He's giving you great nuggets. How much more can you get from it at $250 an hour or whatever Pascal charges? Pascal and I trade services, so I don't know what he charges. So forgive me, Pascal. You can state what it is, but it's so valuable because being on these calls is one thing. He's speaking out to a group, but a personal one-on-one with him, you tell him what's going on with your life. He's going to tell you how financially to fix your credit, to start your business, what you need to get started in the credit, and then how to get what you need to do to fill out these applications, what you need to say on these applications. That's so valuable. He did that for me, and now he has shown me how to increase my credit, and I call him up every couple of months. I'm like, okay, I'm at this stage. What do I do next? And so, and extremely valuable. So thank you very much. I didn't mean to cut into your call, but I thought
no. But actually, I'm glad you chimed in. I'm glad you chimed in because I want to ask you a question because how long has it been that this Dr. Sonia has been doing her thing? Because if I remember correctly, it's not very long.
No, so she's been in now. I saw her back in, I want to say September. So she's been doing this less than 5 years. I want to say 3 years, but now she's making $1 million. When she decided that what happened to her was she got down on her hands and knees. Mind you, she's a veteran. She was a sergeant. She was controlling men out in Iraq. And she's an idiot. She's not that big. She's tall, but she's thin. And you wouldn't think, sergeant, really? Well, after that, she had PTSD or whatever that is, and I apologize for messing that up. But she got down on her hands and knees, and she was suicidal. And she said, God, show me, either take me or tell me what you need me to do. And he said, take your life experience and mentor other women. And she's been doing that ever since and hasn't stopped. And now she's creating coaching platforms and doing all these things. But once again, do what you do best and make it a business, as Pascal was saying. And so I'm ready to join her on a path. And my journey, because I'm an accountant, is financial services. So she's going to show me how to put and brand my financial services so I can go and teach this country how to be financially literate. And I want it to be on a platform because you can reach out more people, just like Pascal is reaching out on this call. He's reaching out instead of he's only one person, can't be in 1,000 places, but on a call, you can reach every state, every country that joins in, and you can be that effective to people, and then have your and those who are really serious and want that one-on-one coaching, invaluable. So, so $1 million a month. A month. I told her I wanted to make $1 million this year, and I'm on track to doing that. And she broke it down to me in numbers in a way that I didn't even think about, me being an accountant once again. Sometimes you need people who are on the outside looking in their field. She's broken it down. And like Pascal said, she showed it to us on a slide when she went and spoke to an event I was at. And I immediately sent it to Pascal, and I said, hey, we need to be doing this. And so he started off by doing these calls. next he's going to be speaking on platforms and coaching and things of that nature. And so we're gearing up and setting up for that. But once again, I don't want to take away from your call, Pascal.
No, you're not. You're adding value, because what I'm trying to get everyone to understand is, so I started the call talking about one of my students who I'll tell you her name after we get off the call if you wanted to know, Dee. But for her, this young lady, literally took what I taught her and has created $500,000 in income in the first 5.5 months of this year, of 2019. I mean, how bonkers is that? But, once again, she has put herself out there. She has made relationships with banks and realtors and so on and so forth. But she's doing the thing, right? And so with Dr. Sonia, because honestly, guys, when I first started telling you, I could not think of the lady's name to save my life. But this Dr. Sonia that Denise paid $500 to have a coaching call, same thing that I've been trying to explain to you all is that she has taken her life experiences, her 20, 30 years, and said, well, let me now serve this to people, right? And help people learn from my mistakes and from my positives, right? So learn from my mistakes and from the things I've done well. And you see the power of that, you guys? And it's not just my student that was able to do that. It's not just this Dr. Sonia. It's not just, me that's able to create these calls. It's you as well. Right? But what is your thing going to be? I don't know, but think about it. 3 years ago, the lady, Dr. Sonia, got out of the military no more than 5 years ago. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Denise was probably closer when she said the 3 years, because I'm trying to remember what the lady was saying when she was on stage at the Think and Grow Rich thing, at the John Shin's Think and Grow Rich thing. But I want to say it was 3 years. So let's just say, let's call it in the middle. Let's call it 4 years ago. For somebody to go from in the military 4 years ago, because we're going to do that halfway mark, right, between the 3 and the 5, if somebody was in the military 4 years ago and now they're on track to do $1 million a month, that's $12 million a year, 4 years outside of the military, if that's not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, I don't know what is, y'all. And what's even more cuckoo is that it is not unique to her. There's no magic that this lady has done other than the fact that she's made a decision to go out and make it happen. Right? So my student that I've been talking about, there's no magic to her making that $500,000 the first 5.5 months of this year. None, other than the fact that she made a decision to go out, knock on doors, and make something happen. And two completely different worlds, right? Completely different worlds. I mean, this Dr. Sonia is talking about how to, her life experiences, her focus is on women, helping them, become entrepreneurs, go through divorce, and come out on the other side, how to raise their children. Because I think 2 of Dr. Sonia's kids now are in an NFL or something now, Dee? Something like that, you were telling. Yeah.
Yep,
so, but raising her kids on her own, doing that good mother thing, and keeping her kids active in sports, so she's taking that and utilizing that as her platform, from what I understand, right? Because I don't know the lady, but for utilizing that as her platform and saying, I'm going to show you how I've done this both unsuccessfully but most importantly, here are my success stories that you can follow as well, right? And the same thing with the student of mine. She's made a lot of mistakes. Believe me, I'm telling you, because we talk on a fairly regular basis. And dude, she has screwed up royally. But the fact that she has continued, no matter what her screw ups were, have made all the difference in the world, right? And that's what has gotten her to the point where she was able to knock out $500,000 in 5.5 months. Now, and I really want you to understand something else. The Dr. Sonia person, when she was talking on stage and she was talking about that $250,000 she made from stage, in an hour and a half of talking on stage, she had just basically started doing her thing. And that's why she had made that comment that, oh my God, why didn't somebody tell me about this earlier? That I could, that you can get on stage and make $250,000. Is everybody getting this stuff? I mean, for a lot of you, I know you got to send it in the chat, but it's important, you guys. It's very important. Your knowledge base, whatever field it's in, has value to it, right? My knowledge base has value to it, and that's why I'm selling my knowledge base. And I'm just saying that you all of us need to be selling our knowledge base. All of us need to, find our pathway, if you will. And if that means getting a coach to help you, like if you choose to go down my pathway, call me up. If you want to build your business or what have you, call me up. I'm not if you need someone who is a coach on the things that I teach, I'm excellent for that. If you need somebody who's going to coach you on how to get up on stage and do all that, you need to find somebody else that's able to teach you that. But whatever the hell it is, y'all need to do it, just like I need to do certain things, and that's what this call is about, is, looking at all the good stuff that's going on around us and finding value in all the information that you have between your ears, because it is a lot. I know a lot of the people that come on my calls, and what I'm telling you guys, some of you have been, like I won't mention his name, but, was doing huge things in real estate, huge. But then, things happened, right? But all that information that he garnered from literally, $1 million deals in real estate, even down to building a whole tract of homes. The tract went under. It didn't work out because it happened, right when everything was going under. But to even have positioned himself, he and his lovely wife, to be able to be in a scenario where they were going to build a tract of homes, how much value is what's in between his ears, right? Isn't the value that this person I'm speaking about, and I don't even think he realizes how much value he has in between his ears. He's a super intelligent human being. So is his lovely wife, and but they're not pushing the, I want to say this properly. They're not pushing the knowledge base that they have, right? Which is tremendous. It's the bullshit that they had to go through to get to where they were at, and then even the downslide of it, where shit didn't work out. It's all of that is worth millions of dollars. And we got to start selling this information, you guys. So if it's something that I'm doing, you guys want to know it, you guys want to learn from it, call me. Everybody has my number, 951-515-4728. But if you have something in a completely different arena, start pushing that, start selling that, start talking about it, and get your money. I'm telling everybody, like I told my man Chris yesterday, dude, you're worth a minimum of $250 an hour, right? That's what I tell people. And either people are going to pay me that or they're going to get off my phone. And getting off my phone is fine by me. But it has to be fine by you as well. You have to say to yourself, that's okay. What I offer is not for you. You know how many people I've had to tell that in the last year? They go, wow, you charge a lot of money. And I go, well, my program's not for you. And it just, some people think it's rude, and I don't care. Because it's, if your mentality is such that you think $250 an hour or $5,000 for a program is too much, then it's just not for you. Seriously. And you guys have to take on the same mentality, because you're not going to be able to please everybody, and you're not going to be able to serve everybody. And quite honestly, you don't want to serve everybody. Not everybody's for you either. You have to find people that see value in what you're offering, number one. And number two, which is even more important in my opinion, is you have to find people that are sincere about what you're talking about and what you're offering, right? Because you will find that it is a much easier path in dealing with them and them dealing with you. Right? You don't want a scenario where somebody doesn't see value, like the young lady that paid me the $1,500 down and didn't want to, pay me the balance of my $3,500. She's not somebody I want to work with in any fashion or form, because she didn't ultimately see the value in what I'm offering. She didn't see that she could literally take what I have given her and the rest of the information that I was giving her, and not only rebuild herself, but also take that information and do like this other young lady and make $500,000 or more, maybe less, but make so much more out of her existence by building herself, number one, and secondly, building up other people. Tremendous value in that. So look, it's this call is it's 10 o'clock. It's after 10 actually, and if no one has any questions, I'm gonna end this call. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah.
This is Denise again, and I don't want to take someone else's time, so interrupt me if you have a question, because I could always talk to Pascal. But if nobody has a question, I just want to piggyback what you just say as we end this call. You're so right. Everybody's not for everybody, and it's okay to let those people go. The person who didn't honor your contract, you've got to put in the work. Most people, she probably wanted you to do the work for her. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the time, just as we have put in the time and the work. You are not going to get anything for free. You'll get a lot of stuff from your coaches that they're not going to charge you for. That's invaluable. Today, when I paid the $500 for this hour call, I ended up being an hour and a half. But the call was only for an hour. But she gave me 30 minutes extra. As you have done in the past as well, many a time, as you're going over on this call. So it's so valuable. If you're going to make a decision, make a decision. Don't waste people's time, and don't waste your time and your money. Your money is valuable, and take it serious. If you want to do this, if you want to get your credit right, if you want to get your a coach, somebody who can walk you, like literally Pascal, and I tell him all the time, and he can attest to this. I'm like, you're giving so much away, and he says, like, it's just him. It's who he is, and he'll literally take you by the hand, not physically, but take you by the hand and walk you through what you need to do. And most people people, of course, don't know that because they don't know him. I know him. I've known him since 2006, and he has not wavered. He's been the same person since that time, and we have developed our businesses just by masterminding together. And him being an expert in his field, me being an expert in my field, and they go together and work constantly. We talk to each other 2 to 3 times per week, and we're constantly growing. And as he mentioned, meeting other people. We know so many other people that you starting with Pascal is like, okay, hey, you want to be this, you want to be that. Let me connect you. I know, hey, D knows somebody who knows somebody who knows, and he'll give you that information. He's not charging you for it, but that's the way to network. When you're in a networking group, everybody knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and that's just valuable. And they're more than willing to just give that out. They're not gonna, hey, for $100, I'll give you the number. No, because they know they've been there. I've been there. We have 20 years between Pascal and I. Have over 50 years in our experience. We haven't charged, and that's why he's on this call letting me know, hey, you need to start charging for your service because so much we give away, and we're like, it's okay. You know what? I'll give it to this person, or I'll give it to that. And it's now, it's got to be a business because so many people waste your time that if they don't have skin in the game, they're just not serious. And instead of giving that information that we would give away, and we have so many times free, it's just like, you know what? In order for people to take us serious, we got to start charging. I paid $15,000, 2013. I just found the receipt today, yesterday, going through all my paperwork, that I paid $15,000 for a real estate mentor. I'm gonna pay Sonia $20,000 for her mentorship, so she can get me on stage, so I can speak financial literacy. Can I do it myself? Absolutely. But it's going to take me forever. She's done the work. She's put in it. And I will proudly pay her the money because she broke it down to me. She has it on the science because she's military. She's structured, and she's a go-getter. And you can't mess with her. So I'm so excited to be with her. But anyways, I'm going to keep talking if I don't stop. And I know people have to get back to their work and stuff. And I just wanted to say that, Pascal, thank you for the call. Thank you for letting me interrupt you, and I appreciate you. I got to get on another call with John Chin, and he's already at 15 minutes into his call, but thank you so much. We'll catch up later. I'm on my way driving to a client right now, so we'll catch up, and you can go ahead and end your call. Thank you so much. Love you guys.
Thank you. We'll talk to you later. All right, everybody. So this call is over. It's another one in the books. Unless somebody has something to say real quick before we go. And if not, we are good and we are done. All right, so hopefully you all got something out of the call. And if you need me, call me, and we'll go from there. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much.